On page 3, you'll see this terrible picture of me. Also has my contact info, okay? You don't just get me for open enrollment, you get me all year long. I take care of all employee-facing questions. If you need an ID card, if you have a life event coming up, if you get a claim back from your doctor and the insurance, you don't think they're paying what they're supposed to be paying, send it to me, okay? I will company for you, and advocate for you. So you're probably not going to hang on to these books forever, so take a picture of my contact information, so if you need to get a hold of me anytime during the year, this is how you do it, okay? So what we're doing is open enrollment. It starts today and it ends on December 6th. So you'll be going online to the youth platform. Annie's going to be sending out links this afternoon or this evening to invite you to go in and make your elections. You have until December 6th to do that. The elections you make, okay, during this open enrollment, you can change anything you want. You can add dependents, remove dependents, coverage, whatever you need. This is your one time a year to do that. Throughout the year, you'll be able to make changes unless you have what's called a qualifying life event. So that's birth, death, marriage, divorce, you or a dependent gaining or losing other coverage. So if my husband changes jobs and he was covering us on his medical, from the date that coverage ends, I'm going to have a 30-day window to elect him on my coverage. Okay? Carriers are really specific about that 30-day window. So if you know you have something coming up, just email me. I'll put a reminder on my calendar so that I'm sure you don't miss your window, okay? You guys are the happiest part of my job, so anytime you need anything, just let me know. So we're going to talk about the medical. So before we get started, I kind of want to explain some terms for you so that I'm sure that you're with me and I'm not just like throwing jargon at you and you're like, oh, I don't even know what she's saying. Okay, so 3 terms I'm going to go over: deductible, co-insurance, and max out of pocket. Okay, so your deductible is what you pay before the insurance company starts picking up and paying some of your expenses. Once you hit your goal, then your co-insurance starts. Okay, usually it's an 80-20, 75-25 split. The insurance company pays a portion and you pay a portion. That's your co-insurance. So when your deductible and your co-insurance equal your max out of pocket, then United Healthcare is going to pay 100% of your medical expenses for the rest of that calendar year. Okay? So that max out of pocket is a number to remember. Again, we're staying with United Healthcare this year. The prices on the high deductible went down. Let me kind of cover the deductible. So we're on page 5. Excuse me. High deductible is kind of the most simple and basic form of insurance. You pay the first, in this case, $5,000 for an employee or $10,000, okay? And then you're done. Your max out-of-pocket deductible are the same. There's no co-insurance, okay? The reason why the premiums are low is because you're paying that first dollar medical expense, okay, a large chunk of it. One thing that I do want to point out, so your annual wellness exams. I know that everybody doesn't get those, and they should, but I won't get on a soapbox about it. But if you get your mammogram, ladies, PAPs, gynecological, guys, PSAs, colonoscopies after the age of 40, your wellness exam, when they do your blood panel and check your cholesterol, those are all free, okay, covered at 100%. So there's no reason not to get those, okay? On both plans, they're free. With a high deductible, everything else is part of your deductible. So how does that work if I go to the doctor, right? I don't co-pay. So I go into the doctor, I give him my insurance card, okay? I'm on a high deductible. I'm not going to pay them anything up front, okay? They're going to submit a claim to United Healthcare, and United Healthcare is going to say, okay, you charge $125 for an office visit. I'm just using round numbers. Network, we need to discount that to $75. That's the agreed upon price. They discounted $75. Letty hasn't met her deductible yet. So we're going to apply that to her deductible. You need to get that $75 from her. They're going to invoice me for $75 for that office visit. Okay? So that's how that would work. Okay? That discount that I just talked about for being in network, you will get every single type of service that you can get here on this page, with the exception of prescription drugs. Okay? You're going to pay really close to retail for prescription drugs. So this plan is great if maybe you're on some high blood pressure pressure medicine that's generic, you don't really go to the doctor that often, no sinus infection, but you don't really use your medical insurance that much. This is a great plan for you, okay? Because you can pair it with a health savings account, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. Again, the prices did go down a little bit. Your deductibles went up just a touch, and that's why the prices came down, which is nice. If you have a family and you're concerned about that $10,000 deductible, okay, don't be too afraid. If one individual in the family has a catastrophic event, let's say I go and get hit by a bus, okay, I don't have to meet that $10,000 deductible. I only have to meet $5,000 of that deductible. The rest of my family will have to meet the other $5,000. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm never going to be out individually more than $5,000, even if I'm on a family. Okay. Questions about the high deductible? Okay, I'll have questions, so you guys are going to have to put this on.
Is that true for is that 5,000 towards any one individual in the family, or?
Correct. One person has to meet it, the other family members have to make up the rest. Okay. So it catches that catastrophic event. Okay, thank you. I'll have questions. On the next page, we have health savings account. So with a high deductible health plan, the IRS decided to give you an opportunity to dodge taxes, which is my favorite pastimes. If you have a high deductible health plan, giving on that premium, okay, it's lower. That extra money that you could have been spending on a premium, you can put into a health savings account. Now, you're not going to pay federal, state, or Social Security on this. This money gets taken out of your check, and it goes into a savings account that we set up for you, and it's yours forever. Okay? I don't know why you ever want to leave this place, but if you ever left employment here, it would go with you. Okay? It rolls over every year. There's no time limit on when you have to spend it. It just keeps building up and building up. Okay? So when I have that $75 bill from my office visit, I can use my health savings to pay for that with tax money. Okay? Just putting about $1,200 a year into a tax-free fund like this can save you around $360 in taxes. It's just more money in your pocket. You know, at some point you're going to have medical expenses. For me, I'm an OCD planner, okay? So for me, I'm worried about that bus. So I wanted to get my whole that out-of-pocket max we talked about on that card. So if I do get hit by a bus, it's not going to devastate my family's finances. I'll be able to make the mortgage because I got it all on that card, and I didn't pay tax on any of that money. Okay? So another great thing about a health savings account, they're going through CAS. So Consolidated Admin Service, which is a wonderful company. They have a great app that you can use. They'll send you a smart debit card. So if I go to the grocery store and I want a pizza and milk and I forget I got to pick up a prescription, take all of that to the counter, run my HSA card, and it will only pay for flight expenses. It will only pay for that prescription. I'll have to use another form of payment for pizza and the milk. Okay? So there's a whole range of things you can use it. Medical, dental, vision, prescription drugs, feminine hygiene products, over-the-counter medication like Tylenol or NyQuil. You can spend it on that as well. There's a really good website out there called hsalist.org, and you can literally look anything up on there and it'll tell you yes or no whether or not you get HSA money on that. Okay. Another really great thing, there are limits on how much you can put in here, as you can see on the screen. If you get more than $2,000 in here, anything over that, you can invest, just like you invest 401k money. And any money that you make on that money is tax-free. So you're making tax-free money, which is really a great deal. However, just keep in mind as the market fluctuates, you do run the risk of losing money as well that way. Okay? If you don't want to invest it, you're still going to draw a tax-free interest just like a normal savings account. Normal savings account, they don't have a really high interest rate, but it's something. Okay? Once you hit retirement, you can spend this on medical, dental, vision, and prescription drugs. It will never ever tax. Okay? But let's say that I'm 70 years old and I drove through a construction site and I got 2 flat tires. Okay? Maybe I can pay for one of those tires to get fixed, right? But I can't afford to fix the other one. I can get HSA after retirement to pay for that tire. They're going to tax it like they would if I pulled money out of a 401k. Okay? But there's no penalty. It's another great nest egg area where you can stick some extra money in for retirement if you want to. Okay. Questions on the high deductible and the HSA? Yes.
How does it roll over if we leave the company or if the company switches coverage
It
providers?
is your personal health savings account. I can't even.
So it's like we would have, it's like a bank, opening a savings account in a bank,
Correct.
completely independent
It's
of you
yours.
guys?
Correct.
Okay,
So when your money comes off your check, it goes into that account, and then you have access to it.
okay.
We can't touch it, I can't see what your balance is, you know, it's your personal account.
Is there ever one where we would end up with multiple like, HSA accounts because
Yes.
other insurance came in or something?
Absolutely. I had an open enrollment this morning that has that situation happening, they're moving to CAS from a different platform. And we have forms that I write to you, if you have another HSA with another bank and you wanna combine them, I have a form in my bag I can hand you, and you can fill that form out and we can get a transfer for you. Put it all in this. Thank you, great questions.
Bless you. Sorry.
Okay, so moving on to the copay medical plan. So, you'll notice here some differences. Number one, you have a deductible that's $1,000, it's gone down to $1,000 and $2,000. You'll also notice that the premiums are higher, okay? That's because you don't have that first expenditure exposure like you do on the high deductible, okay? You only have to pay $1,000 before they start paying 80%, so your co-insurance is 20% after you meet your deductible, okay? When your deductible less what you pay for co-insurance equals either $5,000 or $10,000, then they pay 100% for the rest of that calendar year, okay? Again, immunizations, wellness, annual physical is covered at 100%, but with this plan, you also have copays. Keep in mind, your copays do not go towards your deductible, but they do go towards your out-of-pocket. So your out-of-pocket max, every time you pay a copay, it's getting applied to your out-of-pocket max, but it's not bringing the deductible. Okay? So on this plan, if I go to the doctor, it's $25 copay. I walk in, I hand in my card, I pay $25, and I'm out. Keep in mind that copay is for you to sit in that office with the doctor and talk about what's going on and anything that happens kind of in that room. If he sends you out of that room to get blood work or an x-ray, that's going to be part of your deductible. The copay does not cover outside tests, okay? To see a specialty, urgent care is also a copay of $50. This is my last soapbox. About 90% of what you can get done in an ER, you can get done in urgent care. And it's gonna cost you so much less.
Mana is 25.
Yeah,
Mana urgent care is 25, not 50.
is it? Oh, that's
Every time I've
amazing.
gone to Mana, they treat it as a PPE.
PCP, that's
visit,
amazing.
not urgent care.
That was gonna be actually a follow-up question, because there are a lot of things that, like, because of our health, like, in the Mana network, like, those prices are set regardless of kind of what coverage we have.
Mhm.
Does any of these changes affect, or can you even answer whether or not it would affect the way that our providers take our coverage?
So if you have a high deductible, they're still gonna discount it, whatever their discount is with your healthcare, okay? But you're still gonna be responsible for high deductible, you're not gonna have a copay. If they're treating, urgent care through Mana as a PCP visit, that's amazing, and that will continue, because you have not changed providers, okay? Great questions, guys, thanks. I made the mistake of going to an ER, I live on a mountain, I love birds and I love snow, so every bird on that mountain knows every time it snows, I'm gonna put birdseed out. I went out in slippers one time instead of my hiking boots, and I slipped and I fell and I hit my head on a rock and had to get 5 stitches right here. And I went to an emergency room, $2,800 for 5 stitches. Okay? I learned that lesson the hard way. Please don't do it to yourself. If you need stitches, do not go to the ER. You can pay a copay with this particular plan. Even if you have deductible, it's still going to be cheaper. You walk in an ER, you might as well assume it's going to be at least $1,000, $1,500. Okay, so just to help spend your healthcare dollars as best you can, go to urgent care. Now, if you've got a bone sticking out of your leg and you're squirting blood, okay, having a heart attack, please go to the ER. That's what that's for. Okay, but if it's just stitches or you twisted your ankle and you're not sure you broke it, they can X-ray that at urgent care. They can cast it for you at urgent care. Just x-rays, okay, are part of your deductible. With the copay plan, you actually have copays, which is pretty rare. For labs, so if they send you out lab work, it's a $15 copay as long as you're in a designated network. X-rays is a $5 copay. But MRIs, CAT scans, PET scans, all of that's part of your deductible. The good thing about this plan is if you are on any of those high-dollar prescription drugs that you see advertised on television, Skyrizi or Humira or Manjaro, there's a whole bunch of them. Those are like the newest, latest, and greatest, and most expensive. Some of those are $1,000 a month. Okay, so if you're not sure how much your prescriptions are, you can email me. I can tell you where they're at on the scale, whether they're 2 or 3 on this plan. The most you're going to pay is $75. Okay, the least you're going to generics are going to be between $0 and $15. Okay? Prices on this tick up just a little bit because we brought your deductible down a touch. Okay, so there's a little bit of a price increase on this one. Any questions on the copay plan?
So, if you had a health savings account with a high deductible and you switched to a copay plan, would you be required to cash out HSA
No.
first? Okay.
And thank you for bringing that up because I totally forgot to mention something else that you just reminded me of. If I am on a high deductible health plan and I put up an HSA and then I figure out, you know what, I'm going to have to knee surgery next year, so I'm going to get on the copay plan, okay? I can no longer contribute HSA while I have a copay plan, but that money is still mine and I can use that money to pay for my surgery and my copays. You can also cover any dependent in your house, so if I'm covering myself on a high deductible and I'm building up an HSA, this is covering our 2 boys, and he's got them on the copay plan, I can still pay their copays with my HSA money because they are my dependents. And I claim them on my taxes. I can use that HSA money to pay for any member of the family that is a dependent, no matter what plan they're on. Okay. Good question, thank you. And you reminded me I forgot something, so I appreciate that. Any other questions on either health plan?
Is the, do we know, I was trying to find like our booklet from last year, just trying to compare what, if there were any changes, like, are with the office visits and everything, were those on the
Those copays did not change.
other one,
On the high deductible?
on the high deductible, were they 0% after deductible last year?
Everything, yeah.
Okay.
That's the definition of a high deductible health plan. Yeah,
I screen grabbed last year and put it in the chat for this.
thank you. The only thing that I didn't mention that changed on the copay plan was the out-of-pocket maxes went from $3,000 and $1,000 to $5,000 and $10,000.
Yeah, the out of pocket, on copay went from 3,000 to 5,000.
Right. Mhm. Any other questions? Yes.
For the copay medical, so once you meet the out-of-pocket maximum, do you still pay like the copay
No,
cost?
it's a true out. Once you have met your out-of-pocket max, you don't pay copays for anything. They pay 100%. Mhm.
Is that prescriptions and, I mean, like, I know, I mean,
No, please
Right.
do. This is your time to ask me as many questions as you want. Yep, that applies to prescriptions. Okay, so I want to flip over to page 8. So we want to talk about flexible spending. So let's say that I did switch over from a high deductible health plan because I know I'm going to have knee surgery and I know I'm going to have to come up with my money up front. I'm going to have knee surgery in February. So I drain my HSA, but I switched to the copay plan and I don't want to pay tax on it, but I don't want to dip into my HSA either. I can get a flexible spending account, okay? And this is if you don't use it, you lose it. I know I'm going to use it. I don't want to pay tax on that money. And the difference between an HSA and an FSA is that whenever I elect $2,000 on my FSA, that money is available to me on January 1st, all of it, okay? And I'm paying it back throughout the year with tax-free deductions from my paycheck. Okay? So that's one of the major differences. Make sure that you calculate properly. They will allow you to roll over a little over $600. So if you're not quite sure how much medical expense you're going to have, just don't put more than $600 in there and you won't lose it. Okay? questions on the spending, you can spend it on the same things you can spend HSA on, medical, dental, vision, prescriptions. If you have a kiddo that's got orthodontics work that they have to have done, that's gonna be some money. You don't wanna pay tax on that either. I would use this, okay? Hi.
Hello.
Maybe give him a book.
Give me a book.
Let's say that I'm on the high deductible health plan, okay, and I have my HSA. So I can't have a flex spending, right? Because the IRS says that's how we do it, okay? But I do have that kiddo that's gonna have to have braces. So I don't deplete my health savings. I don't wanna come off my high deductible health plan. What I can do is use a limited flexible spending, okay? So a limited flexible, you can have money taken off your check. This one, have all at once on January 1st, just like the normal flexible spending, but you can only spend that money on dental and vision. You cannot use it on anything medical related prescription drug. Okay? So if you're really into absolutely dodging as many taxes as possible, you'd be on a high deductible, and you would max that out, and then you'd use the limited flexible spending to pay for any dental and vision. Okay? It's, if you don't use it, you lose it. So be careful, okay? Questions on flexible spending at all?
What is preventative medical care classified in this?
So preventative medical care, so like your physical.
So I could
health
use,
screenings.
if I had a code, which I don't, but I'm trying to get clarity because the language is that vision, dental, and preventative health, like medical health care.
Are you talking about the flex or the limited?
The flex? Or did
The
we move
limited
on?
flex or the flex?
No, you're on the right one. That's what we're talking
Oh, I've moved down to this limit, this little annotation down here.
Preventive medical care, notice that? Because you can't spend it on anything medical.
And like our preventative care is supposed to be covered. We'll circle back to this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I never actually looked at that wording. So see, good questions, okay? I like being intrigued, yes.
I know, like, then there's also sometimes like surgical dental, I can't remember the word.
With some teeth removed.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Oral surgery,
I think oral surgery, is that,
that's dental.
that's still dental?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna look into that, because I never really paid attention to that wording, because I just knew what it was. I'm gonna ask about that though, that's a good question. Anybody have kids in childcare? Okay, well, you guys know that just one kid in daycare could be up to 10 grand a year.
Oh my God, I thought
Oh, yeah.
we were gonna hard stop at a month.
Yeah.
Like, the children are not the future.
Alternative resources.
$10,000 a month.
You're doing the Russian conversion there.
Another great way to put some extra money in your pocket as a young family with kids daycare, you could put $5,000 through a dependent care flexible spending account, and so you're not paying tax on that $5,000. Okay, as it comes off your pre-tax, it goes into that dependent account, and you can use that debit card to pay for daycare. The only tough part about that is like the first month, you'll be funding the dependent care and paying that first month, and then you should be able to start using it each month to help pay for your expenses. And again, you know, just $1,200, something like this can save you over $300 in taxes. So it'll put more money in your pocket. Okay? Sorry, I'm getting a bug in my throat. This is if you don't use it, you lose it, and they're serious. Yes?
I'm sure I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyways.
Please do.
Can both parents do the dependent care?
You can each do $2,500.
All right, thank you.
You know, I had that came up in the flexible spending, and we have one parent who covers the kids and one parent who doesn't. And they wanted to have a parent covering the kids put the max family in there, and the person not covering the kids putting employee only, and you can't do that either.
What?
No, even if it's separated like that, you can only do employee only. Parents are contributing to that.
This is why
takes so long to pass
Yeah.
changes.
There's all these tricky rules.
On the high deductible,
Mhm.
what's the minimum that, because we have to put it into a health savings account?
You don't have to.
Oh, it says you must.
You must be enrolled in the high deductible.
But
You
you
must
could,
be
you could have
enrolled in
$0.
Oh, you do, they don't have, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So then at any point during the year, you could add to it.
Got it.
Yes, and thank you for that. Your HSA is the one thing that you can change throughout the year. So if I'm going along and I'm putting $25 in there a paycheck, and then I have to have knee surgery. I'd go to my payroll and say, can we increase that to like $150 a paycheck so that I can not pay tax on that money I'm gonna have to pay for that knee surgery? Or if you have a big procedure and you get on a payment plan with the hospital or the doctors, increase your HSA contribution to that payment amount, and then at least you're paying it with not tax-free money. Yeah.
And this is a weird physics question maybe, but aren't medical expenses tax deductible at a certain point?
If they reach more than 40% of income.
Understood. I've never had anything that large, so I just,
Yes, I believe it's 40%.
because it almost is like a double tax shelter if, like,
Well, you can't, tax premiums are tax-free for medical, those are pre-tax deductions. Your HSA or FSA, those are pre-tax deductions. But if your medical expenses exceed, I think it's 40% of your gross income, then some of them are deductible as well. Questions? Wow, I thought you guys were gonna be a big group, you're awesome.
You don't know us very good.
Any other questions on the dependent care? So let's move on to page 10. GoodRx is not associated with Theater Square, it's not associated with DHC Insurance. GoodRx is out there for anybody and everybody, okay? If you haven't ever taken a look at their website, God bless you, or scan the QR code and look at their app, it's free. All you do is go on there, every time I get a prescription, I go on there, I put in the code, I put in the prescription, just to see, can I get it cheaper with GoodRx? Sometimes they can save you up to 80%. You'll also be able to see the difference between, it's mine. You'll also be able to see the difference in the different pharmacies around your area and how much they charge. And it can be dramatically different. Some of the highest are CVS and Walgreens, some of the lowest are Walmart and Herbst. So if I'm on the high deductible, and I have an inhaler that I have to get, and it's $75, okay? I'm gonna go on to GoodRx, check out, maybe I can get it at Walmart for $15 or $25. Now, it's not gonna run through months, so it's not gonna go towards my deductible, but I just saved $50. I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer, and I can use my HSA to buy it. Okay? So this is a really great way. Even if they can't discount it, maybe it's one of those high-dollar drugs. If there are manufactured coupons out there or any kind of copay cards out there, it's gonna direct our website so that you can use that benefit as well.
And you said this wasn't through insurance, so, like, you could be at the pharmacy and, like, they would probably have your insurance on file, so they would initially give you your insurance price, but then you could check.
You could just ask them, hey, can you run that through GoodRx for me?
Okay.
really worth checking because I have
Yes.
had instances where it's less doing it that way than what my insurance was.
Even if you're on the copay plan, okay, maybe the copay for $75, but again, if you can get it at Walmart for $15,
Mhm.
I don't know if it was this one or something else, like, one of the times I went to Hearts recently, I feel like they automatically did this, because they told me they put me on some, like, discount card or something like that. They're like, yours doesn't cover this, but we put it on this other thing,
well, it's possible.
so.
A
they
lot of
might have-
places will do it
Yeah.
for you
Yeah, they might have done it.
Yeah.
if they have the time. Walgreens probably.
Okay, I want to talk about Teleboost and Teleboost Plus. I know this is available to all full-time and part-time and seasonal, these two benefits. You know, this particular one, the Teleboost, this is really great if you want to pair it with that high deductible, because with the high deductible, you have medical insurance in case anything really bad happens, okay? You've got that medical insurance. But if you just have a sinus infection, or maybe I've been up and down all night with a stomach bug and I can't be more than minutes away from the bathroom, I'm not gonna wanna get up and go to the doctor and wait in a waiting room. If I have Teleboost it's a zero copay virtual visit. So with my high deductible health plan, I don't have to pay for that office visit. I can use TeleBoost and get my regular office visits done for free. So just something to kind of think about. It does have an acute, an acute counseling service, and by acute, I mean, my grandmother passed away, and I'm sure of grief, and I want to talk to a counselor for 2 or 3 sessions, okay? That's available to you with this. If you are interested in more full-time therapy, ongoing, long-term, on the next page, we have TeleBoost Plus. So you'll see that this is a little bit more expensive. It has the same $0 virtual telemedicine with board-certified doctors, but you also have long-term mental health care. So see a therapist or a counselor. And if you've ever done this, you know that it can be from $125 to $250 a session. Okay? And your counselor therapist that you're probably talking to, probably is because they have their own board certified. You might have to change therapists, but it's going to work. Okay? So that's just something to kind of ponder. Questions on that?
And these ones are ones that we need to like, let him do in the open enrollment, or are these things that we can add at any point?
You need to do it during the night. Okay, dental insurance. So through Blue Cross Blue Shield, this is the exact same plan that we had last year, the exact same cost. No changes here. Although I do want to touch on a couple of things. Dental insurance, you know, we talked about that deductible, how you pay the first dollar amount for your medical, okay? And until you've met your out-of-pocket max, until then, they only pay a portion, and then they pay 100% after you're out of pocket. Dental insurance is kind of backwards, okay? So with dental insurance, you look up at the top, they pay $1,500 per person per year, and you're on your own, okay? So it's kind of the opposite from medical, so don't let that confuse you. Blue Cross does have that $500 rollover. What is that? So you're getting your teeth cleaned twice a year, exams, x-rays, I think a panoramic once every 4 years. That's free, okay? If you have the dental insurance, get your teeth cleaned twice a year and do those exams, because that's what triggers that rollover. If you don't spend at least $750 on your teeth, then they're gonna add $500 to next year. So instead of only having $1,500, you're gonna have $2,000 next year. And if you get your teeth cleaned the next year and you don't have anything done, you're gonna have $2,500 the next year. And it will keep doing that until you hit 3,000. And I don't know about y'all, but it always seems to come in groups with me. I don't need just crown, I need 2, okay? So you're gonna wanna build that up. So if you have the coverage, be sure you're getting your teeth cleaned, because that's what's gonna trigger that rollover for you to increase your benefit this year. And if you have the dental now, and you got your teeth cleaned this last year, then it's gonna roll you over $500 for next year. And your max will be higher. There is a small deductible, $50 per person once a year on basic and major services. So basics, oral surgery, root canals, fillings, simple extractions, non-surgical periodontics, which is a really fancy way to say they're treating you for gum disease, okay? They cover that 80%, so you're only responsible for 20. Major service, think about this like things that go to a lab. Crowns, bridges, dentures, implants, those kind of things, they split with you 50-50, okay? That also includes surgical periodontics, which means if they need to treat your gum disease with a surgery, that's covered at 50% as well. This does have orthodontics, a $1,500 lifetime maximum per child for children under the age of 18. If your children already have braces, it's a pre-existing condition, okay? If they are getting braces this year, then you'll be able to use this benefit. The first $3,000, they're gonna pay half, you're gonna pay half, and then that's it. And the next year, you can't do it again, it's a once in a lifetime for each child, okay? Questions on dental? Okay. Your vision is also through Blue Cross. This plan also did not change. The prices stayed the same as well. It's the VA network, so it's the largest network in the country, so you shouldn't have any problem finding them either. Let me make something really clear about vision. If you have glasses, you don't need this. That seems obvious.
Sorry.
That's so crazy.
Do you wear glasses?
Yeah,
Okay, well then you need vision.
I know, but that's not my
I know.
If something happens to your eye, okay, if you scratch your eye or damage your eye in some way, your medical's gonna cover that, okay?
Or workers' comp.
That's correct.
Wear your safety goggles, please. Don't
Yes, Elliot.
This is hardware insurance. This gets you an eye exam for $10 once a year, gets you frames and glasses once a year for a $10 materials copay for each. Remember, with vision, it's a rolling 12-month calendar. So if I got my eye exam and glasses in April, and my plan year starts in January, I can't go get new eyeglasses. I have to wait till April, okay? Because it's a rolling 12 months, okay? Basic lenses at 100%. I would dare say that there's nobody in this room that has basic lenses, because they get you, don't they?
They do.
You need the scratch resistant coating, you need the anti-blue light coating, you need the anti-glare coating. All those coatings cost. Okay? You are gonna get a 20% discount by using your insurance, but just be prepared for that. But you can use your health savings money to pay for that.
It's worth it to not have to deal with the headaches. I'll take the blue light blocker any day.
All right? Whatever that costs. I'm totally good with that. You have an allowance for frames, $150, or contacts. You can't do both. If you wear both, I would recommend using the $150 towards your contacts. And then go to Zenni Optical, Z-E-N-N-I Optical. You can get good glasses for you need an extra pair of glasses. It's a great way, and you can use savings money. So it's just a great way to get glasses that are cheap. Okay.
So this works with any like online glasses provider,
Abs-
like a website, like an iBuyDirect or a Zenni or something?
Okay, so if you're going to Zenni Optical, you're not going to use this.
Okay.
Okay, because well, I guess
You can use your
you
FSA
could.
or
You probably
HSA.
Ooh.
You're going to get your prescription from the eye doctor,
Yeah,
get your contacts from them,
yeah,
and
What
then
did you say?
they have to give you, they legally have to give you your glasses prescription now.
yeah,
And then you use that on Zenni.
exactly. If you're just going to be getting glasses, use the $150 allowance.
Right.
But it's not going to be $150. I mean, you can still use it, but I mean,
I think that's what I was asking, was
I
if
would
I'm
use-
able to use this policy on like any website, like that I'm ordering
as
frames.
long as
Is
they're
this
in
true?
networks
Okay,
with BSV,
okay.
and it is the largest network. My recommendation though is use this for your glasses if you have contacts, and then get your sunglasses from Zenni Optical.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions on the vision? No price change. Okay, so I'm gonna talk for a moment about employer-paid life insurance. So all the rest of these benefits are through Mutual of Omaha. And, wow. Holy cow, I just realized that you guys pay $100,000 in life insurance. Sorry, you guys are really lucky. Most companies don't go that high. Usually it's 25 or 50,000, but the Theater Square pays $100,000 in life insurance for you. That also includes accidental death and dismemberment, which is a jumble of words just to say that if I die of natural causes, they're gonna pay a beneficiary $100,000, okay? If that bus we were talking about earlier is me, okay, they're gonna pay $100,000 in life insurance, and then they're gonna pay $1,000 in accidental death, so it doubles your life insurance, okay? Don't tell your beneficiary. The other thing is.
Make a note that you told your beneficiary.
If I managed to live through that bus, okay, but maybe I lost a leg, that's dismemberment. Your sight, your hearing, your speech, those all have value. So if something happens to you and you lose a leg or you lose sight in both eyes, we can file a claim for you and get a portion of that life insurance paid out to you. Okay, man, I wanna come work here.
I want to mention one thing about
Yeah.
that while we're on it.
Yeah.
She said that, most places don't do 100,000.
They don't.
Anything over 50,000 is a taxable benefit. And so you can notice that on your paycheck or on your W-2 at the end of the year, it'll say fringe benefit. Us adding in the value of the additional 50,000 that we provide and we have to tax you for it. It is very little.
Yeah, it
But-
goes in, it's usually $1. It goes into your paycheck, it's taxed, it comes right back out.
Yeah.
Taxable fringe benefits.
Sometimes I see that and I'm just, I don't know.
To be honest with you, most companies don't want to mess with taxable fringe benefits, which is usually don't go over 50,000. So you guys are really lucky.
Thanks, Elliot.
Don't ever did anything nice for you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, so if you want to get additional life insurance, you can get that. You can get up to $100,000 on yourself, $30,000 on a spouse, or $1,000 on children. If you do not already have this life insurance, if you did not elect it when you first were offered it, and want to elect it now, you will have to fill out an evidence of insurability. Basically, they want to know what else they want life insurance.
Period. Actually, great question.
They're gonna ask you questions.
Waiting for me outside.
They're gonna ask you questions about the last 5 years of your medical history. You can do it online, and I can send you a link to do that if you want to do that. If you already have life insurance and you want to increase it, you can use it one increment, which is $25,000 at open enrollment with no medications. So if I had $25,000 and I wanted $50,000, I can do that. I don't have to answer my questions. If I want to go from $25,000 to $75,000, I'm going to have to answer questions. Okay? Questions on any of this? The prices are on the next page. Look at you getting it again. So let's simply say that I'm 40 and I want $50,000 in life insurance. It's going to cost me $6.46 a paycheck for that. Okay? If I want to cover my spouse, I need to use my age, not theirs, because it's based on my age. So if my spouse is 10 years older than me, I have a great deal on life insurance, right? If my spouse is 10 years younger, I'm still getting a good deal because it's group coverage, but it's going to be at my age.
Right.
Kiddos, 92 cents per pay period to cover your kids for $10,000, and that is if you have one child or teens. It doesn't matter. You pay one premium, it covers all of your children. Okay? Questions? Okay. Gonna chat about disability for a minute. First of all, I'd like to say that you guys are again blessed because Cedar Squared pays for your long-term and short-term disability, which is huge. Because long-term disability is one of the most underrated benefits that you can have. I'll explain why in a second. So short-term disability, usually used for maternity leave, it pays you 60% of your before-tax earnings for up to $1,000 a week, okay? For an injury, so I got in an accident, I got injured, it starts paying me on day one, okay? There's no waiting period. If it's due to a sickness, there is a 1-week waiting period, so on the 8th day, they start paying me.
Is the injury or sickness?
This is sickness. And I know that is extremely offensive. I find it offensive as well. However, that does make disability apply and pay you. So I'm kind of okay with them calling it
It's technically a parasite.
parasitic infection.
Wow.
Yes.
What about like cancer, or does that fall into
Yes.
long-term?
If you are disabled and you
You were in
cannot work
action, but I
because you're in
recently got rid
treatment
of.
or whatever, that is a disability, okay? This short-term disability pays up to 13 weeks, okay? So from the time that you become disabled, if your doctor releases you, then the disability stops. If the doctor has released you, then it would roll into long-term disability. And the great thing about long-term disability is it pays you 60% of your monthly salary, up to $6,000 a month. And if that bus really did a number on me, and I can't ever go back to work, they're gonna pay me until Social Security retirement age. That could be decades. So it is a game changer. You are the breadwinner in your household, and something happens to you and you can't ever work again, this long-term disability is gonna pay you until you start drawing Social Security. And that is a huge benefit that they offer to you here, and they pay for the whole cost. So, thank you. I still want to go. Okay, questions on disability? I skipped over the pre-existing, so long-term disability does have a pre-existing condition. It's a 312, which means they're going to look back 3 months before the policy started, and anything that you were treated for, diagnosed with, or received a prescription for, in those 3 months will not be covered for the first year. If you guys have all been here for a year, and you've been on this policy for, more than 6 months, your pre-existing is gone. Everything is covered, okay?
What if you're just now enrolling in it because you
For the
lost
first time?
coverage? Yeah.
So they're gonna look at October to December. And anything that you were treated for in that frame won't be covered the first year, but 13 months down the road, everything is covered. Okay? Good question, thank you. Any other questions on disability?
Can you use disability to care for someone in your family that has gotten
That's
sick?
FMLA.
That's not paid.
No.
Short-term disability, do we have to empty our PTO before it kicks in?
No.
Okay.
It kicks in on day 1 if it's an accident, and day 7 if it's not.
You have to use.
But it does,
Policy.
They'll probably require you to use PTO for that waiting period.
Okay.
Most companies do, but they don't make you empty it.
We'll have to check
Unless
back
it
in.
takes
I
them
think
that long
Annie
to
might have told
decide.
us something different.
Oh,
But
I am fallible and I can be wrong. I will find
Annie
out for
can be
you.
wrong too, no.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep that between us.
It's in the
Tara
vault.
would like to be met by that bus?
Hey, can you talk about, what the rules of children being insured, as long as a child is?
Yeah, so children, you can cover children on medical, dental, vision, and ancillary benefits at the age of 26. On their 26th birthday, they will automatically be dropped. That will be a life event for them.
Yes, it will.
It is. And it sure is. Wow.
It's a great.
My grandfather clubs did that, I was dropped when I was 18.
But it will be a life event due to loss of coverage for them, so they just need to talk to their HR person, to their benefits person, and let them know. They will need a COCC or a certificate of credible coverage. All you have to do is call the number on the back of your card and ask them for it. They'll know what it is, they're provided all the time, and they can usually email it to you within 24 to 48 hours.
And that's regardless if they are enrolled in school or not. if I-
Correct. They could be married, living in another home in another state, and you can still cover them.
That won't happen. I have to-
No, David said no.
18, you're out. Okay, anything else we're gonna cover? Okay, want to touch on ease, so there's instructions right here on how to go onto ease. If you've been here before, you know the drill. This afternoon or this evening, Annie's gonna send out the invitations to all of you, so that you'll have a link to go to click and enroll. The last thing I wanna cover, contacts. These are contacts for all of your carriers. I hope you never need to use this because you have me. It can be incredibly frustrating to try to argue a claim with an insurance company because every time you call, you have to go through it all again and explain it to a new person. And it's super frustrating. Don't send it to me. I have contacts at the insurance company. I will have them look at your claim. I will look at it, make sure it looks right. If it looks right, I'm gonna come back and say, it's right, I'm sorry. If it doesn't look right to me or I wanna have it looked at, I will go directly to the insurance company on your behalf and do it for you. Okay? Please utilize me. It's job security for me, and I love helping employees. So, any questions that you have, if you get stuck in open enrollment, you're locked out of ease, you can't figure out one, I'm on page 3, email me. It's our busiest time right now, okay, so I have a lot of open enrollment meetings during the day, but I will be up tonight and every email in my inbox is answered. And last week, that was pretty much 9 o'clock every night. But I'm still gonna make sure you get taken care of, okay? If you need help through this or you have questions, just reach out to me, okay? Yes, ma'am?
Open enrollment closes on the 6th. Do you mean like the 6th at midnight or the 6th, 11:59 p.m.?
The 6th.
Or 5
at
p.m.?
the,
Close of business?
close of business.
Okay.
Is that 5 or 4?
It's like close of whose business?
10 p.m.
Common
What we do is we do close of business. We do have an admin period that gives us a tiny bit of breathing room. If everybody waits till that admin period, it's really hard on me, so please don't do that. But if you realize at the last second that you need to change something, okay, reach out to me. I'll do my best to get it changed for you.
coverages begin January?
January 1st. Thank you, I should have mentioned that, not.
And that's a change for us, we were on a different timeline.
Did we decide that end of day is 5? Okay.
Yes.
5.
The open enrollment for Teleboost, is that email also going to our part-time hourly employees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a separate, that will be out there.
Yes.
If we're signing up for the same coverage again for the new year, do we just use the same insurance card, or do we get a new, like, group ID number?
So we didn't change carriers, but we did shift plans a little bit, so you will be getting a new card.
Will the ID number stay the same on the card?
Good question. I would think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I need to make a list of these things, and I'm not 100% sure. You guys are good. Usually people can't stump me. I love it when stump me, because we both learn something.
So what happens if somebody doesn't go on these and doesn't do anything?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing that up. We are doing a passive enrollment, okay? So that means if you don't want to change anything, you don't have to do anything. Let me caution you on this. I would recommend you do it anyway, just for giggles. 2 reasons. One, we have to make sure that your address is correct. That's where your cards are gonna come. And if you moved or anything changed with your address, you need to update that. The other thing is, that $100,000 life insurance policy that you guys are so blessed to have, please make sure your benefits are up to date. There is nothing worse than us having to deliver a benefit check to an ex-spouse. Everybody is.
They getting it.
Oh.
There's nothing we can do. If you don't change it, that's who's gonna get the. So if you got your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend on there.
Sure.
You might want to check
You
it,
didn't know what you were doing?
okay? Make sure that you update your address and your beneficiaries.
Good point.
So if you've already coverage in the current year and you do nothing, it's going to re-sign you up for the same you already had.
Correct.
And if you didn't do anything in the previous year, or if this is your first time enrolling, it's going to decline everything except for
Okay.
long-term and short-term disability.
So let me just, for any newbies that are signing up for the first time, if this is the first time that you're being offered that voluntary, if you don't want any life insurance right at the moment, but you know you want some a couple of years down the road, I would recommend getting the minimum amount, okay, which is $25,000. It gets your foot in the door and you do not answer medical questions. If you do not elect anything, when you do in a couple of years go to enroll, they're gonna take a microscope to your medical history. If you get the minimum, each year you can increase it 1 increment with no medical questions, okay? But if you don't enroll in something, then they're gonna wanna know why when you decide you wanna enroll. Yes, ma'am.
If we were to switch from, the copay plan to the high deductible plan, have the flexible spending account, because our plan year changed, and we still have that rollover, like more than the rollover amount, what happened to that flexible spending account with the funds that are maybe left over?
If you're changing, you had a copay and you have a flexible spending and you're changing to a high deductible on an HSA, the plan year for an FSA, or flex spending, is January to December. You'll have until March 15th to submit claims for anything in 2024, okay? Once you've submitted those claims and March 15th goes by,
I think it converts to a limited purpose.
oh, I think you're right. That came up a couple weeks ago. He's right. It does convert to limited flex, so you can use it on dental and vision. Thank you so much. I totally forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, me and Elliot dabbled in
Is
that.
it, so did it also become like shorter this year, so you've been on like, we're now on like an 11-month year, go all the way through like
FSA is
January,
January to December. It doesn't matter when you,
even before when we were February to February or whatever. Okay.
So back to dental, so what's the time frame now, like, if you still need to get
get your teeth cleaned.
another cleaning, like, you already had one, but
So-
because you said you have to get the
Well,
the rollover amount?
I say too, you need to use the service. If you've already gotten your teeth cleaned once, you'll get the rollover. I'm just trying to get you.
Okay. You just wanna make sure we don't have yuck mouth.
You know, and one of those, and speaking of, those panoramics that about once every 4 years, they want you to get, and you're like, why do I have to do this? The first place that they can detect osteoporosis is in your jaw. So let them do that panoramic, because they're checking more than just, you have cavities, okay? They're checking your bone structure in your jaw to make sure that you're not early on osteoporosis.
So I have until January for that, or? Okay, great.
Good questions. That was great. Anything else? Okay. What did your free job?
All right.
See, I made it as
Thank-
painless as possible.
Everybody, if anybody wants to have a private question, please.
I'll be here for a
come in.
while,
Yeah.
until there aren't any more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back in the day.
No, I'm coming, yeah, I have questions.
All of our bosses,
Nice.
her name is Shannon.
Alright, I'm gonna stop this. Sorry. I'm going to try to turn it off. Oh, God.